Hi, Chris Reed, Realtor here out of Pensacola, here to give you the Pensacola real estate market update for July 2026. So what's happening in the Pensacola market really? What's really happening? Well, July gives us a pretty good answer to that question. More homes are selling in the greater Pensacola area than they were this time last year. Inventory is lower and homes are selling faster than they were earlier in the summer. Yet buyers remain selective and prepared to negotiate. That combination of things really, when you're looking at the numbers really don't tell the whole story here. So July, we closed slightly fewer homes than we did in June, but we were up over 13% in sales this July compared to last. And the average sale price was holding just under $400,000, which has been very, very consistent for quite a few years now. So after we came off of the 2020-2021 peak, prices came down about 4%, and they have been extremely level and steady as an average sale price ever since. I would even say that it is the most steady, stable real estate pricing that I have seen in my career, decades following real estate market trends. Average sale price just under $395,000 for the Pensacola area. It still remains below the national average. Homes have sold faster. We're down to about 60 days, average days on the market. That is the time from when the property hits the market till it goes under contract. And then our contract days are running about 30 to 45 days, pretty standard, especially if there's financing, maybe closer to 45. Inventory has increased just ever so slightly, but we're 9% below where our inventory was in 2025. We are at a 3.7 month inventory. That means that if we took every property that's currently on the market and sold it at the rate that we are selling them at for a monthly basis right now, and if we didn't take any more properties onto the active listings, that we would have a 3.7 month inventory. What does that mean? Generally speaking, anything between a 4 and a 6 month inventory supply is considered a neutral market. So we are just below the 4 month inventory, meaning that we are a weak seller's market. And we've been that way for a bit. Now we've come off that frenzied moment back in 2020, 2021, where sellers were very much in the driver's seat. Things have changed. Buyers are negotiating more with sellers now, and sellers need to be prepared for that. Technically speaking, it remains a weak seller's market, but that doesn't mean that the sellers hold all the cards. The difference between the asking and selling price, average asking and selling price in our market right now, is 2.6%. You, on an average, can plan on a 2.6 price decrease from asking price, in an average scenario. And about a quarter of all sales are cash buyers. And cash is still king. If you don't have to have a home appraisal, if you don't have to worry about your buyer qualifying, especially where prices are today, a cash buyer definitely holds more cards in today's market. And at the higher end of the spectrum, at higher price points, you can find cash buyers are 30% or even higher at some sweet spots. So buyers are negotiating. Sales are up 13.5% year over year while inventory is down 9%. Those are not the numbers that you hear in the headlines. There are buyers in the Pensacola market. The question is, what properties are they taking? So a lot of people are currently coming in from out of state. We are experiencing an influx of people coming in from California, from Nashville. I worked with, just in the last few weeks, worked with folks coming in from Maine and New England. They're coming from all over the country, and our area is getting discovered, so we are getting an influx of people. The downtown is thriving. Our beautification project has been a great success. It's absolutely gorgeous down there. We've got things going on at the pier. We've got the Hard Rock Hotel, which is back in play downtown by the Wahoo's Stadium. We've got America's Magic, the World Cup sailing team that is based here on our pier. Lots of good things happening in Pensacola. Airport expansion, all kinds of stuff. And some infrastructure projects too. Actually, there are some things going on the bayou behind me that is helping with quality of water entering the bayou, and working on drainage and runoff and that kind of stuff. It's all good stuff. I specifically track the downtown, East Hill, North Hill markets, and what we're finding there, among 41 of the most recent closed sales, average sale price has been running about $5.7. But some of those averages hide one of the most important trends that I'm seeing. Home buyers aren't just looking at zip codes. They are looking for very specific streets, very specific blocks, very particular architecture, vibe, lifestyle. And they're really comparing condition of property, quality of construction, layout. And they're really taking all things into consideration and really looking at how they relate to the price, and comparing and contrasting properties based on that price. We've got a sweet spot in the market right now in East Hill where we do have more properties priced in that $325,000 to $425,000 price point that we had not had in a while. So there are some opportunities there for buyers getting into the East Hill market at that price point. Some houses are selling extremely quickly while others are lingering. And this, when I'm talking to sellers in this market, I cannot express upon how important it is for sellers to price their property correctly right off the bat. If you price your property correctly right off the bat, you stand the best chance in getting the price that you want for your home. If your property is priced correctly, it should go under contract rather quickly, and some actually will go quickly in multiple offer situations within the first week of hitting the market, and they will often be right at or even above asking price. If a property lingers on the market, it starts lingering and it starts hanging out there for 5-6 weeks, and it's not getting the love. It's like the kiss of death. And I'll tell you, small price changes aren't doing it. I'm seeing large price drops that have to, sellers are having to catch up with where they need to be in the marketplace. The market truly dictates the value of the property. Your property is worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. And the market will tell you. The market will show where the value is. So some properties are selling really quickly. They can hit the market and the good ones will go. buyers have to be ready. They have to have their pre-approval letters in hand. Their financing has to already be squared away. They have to have already built up enough confidence with their market knowledge to know when that property is that they're seeing pop up on the market is a good one or not. Okay, good one meaning does it check all the boxes? Is it just a really solid listing and priced correctly for the marketplace? I'm not talking about a deal. I'm talking about fairly for the marketplace, the true value of it. If you price your property correctly right from the get-go, you stand the best chance of getting your price. Buyers are savvy. They will see that you've got it priced correctly, and if the condition holds up, the layout, the overall quality of showing holds up. It can't just be about location. Location's not enough. Location and price, not enough. You've got to have right location. You've got to have the condition of the home. It has to be well presented, priced correctly. And if all that happens, that's the secret sauce. Pricing correctly from the beginning matters for sellers. More now than I've seen in a while. Years, probably. On the other hand, good properties attract that interest and can sell. Pensacola home buyers have more opportunity to negotiate than they had in previous years. I am seeing, those 2.5% price reductions negotiated, maybe some seller concessions, maybe just making better terms for buyers overall. And what that does is it really shows a more healthy market. When we were in 2020, 2021, that was not a healthy market. That was an unstable, unsustainable market. A lot of people think that realtors like those markets. Not really. They're crazy, chaotic, very, very stressful. And, you've got home buyers that are foregoing inspections and appraisals, and, that's never a good idea. So the market that we're in now and that we've been in for the last 4 years or so is so much more stable, so much healthier than it had been. And I don't see it changing anytime soon. One thing that I have noticed is very, very late was that the interest rates had bumped up just a little bit. As of this morning, I know some folks that have good credit, conventional 30-year lock-in at about 6.5%. That's pretty much where they've been. They've been creeping up to about 6.7, but hovering mid-6s. And because they have gone up a little bit over, and I'm talking, a quarter or 0.5% over the last few months, with really no sign of that changing anytime soon. I have seen that buyers are getting concerned about those prices or those interest rates rising further. And so they're trying to lock in and make their moves now. So I really do think that the current interest rates have been a motivating factor for people to get on with things. And sometimes some creative financing solutions have to come into play. Maybe sellers are buying down points. Maybe they're covering more closing costs for the buyers. Maybe, rate buy down programs where the sellers are, pay the interest for home buyers for, a certain number of years. Those things are all very helpful tools in this market. So it's really important to understand that this is not a bad market. This is a selective market, and it's actually quite a stable market. Sales are up, inventory is below last year, homes are selling faster, but buyers are paying attention to value. They're increasingly passing on houses that missed the mark, but moving very quickly on those that hit it. Understanding this micro market and how individual properties fit in to the market is key. It's not enough just to know the big averages of an area. You really have to understand the micro markets. Micro markets meaning, you know, how individual neighborhoods are performing on a daily, weekly, you know, monthly basis, not just these big broad brush strokes. Understanding what kinds of properties and styles of properties are gaining attention. Is it new construction? Is it the older homes? Is it waterfront? Is it high-end luxury properties? You know, understanding how each one of these markets, micro markets, are different and how they behave differently. I'm Chris Reed, Realtor. I'm always happy to answer any questions that you may have about our greater Pensacola area, real estate in general. If you like these videos, please hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Chris Reed, Pensacola. Love to hear from you. Give me a shout out anytime. Let's talk real estate. Make it a great day.